Hello, this is something a little bit different from the usual video. Today we're going to be looking at one of my games that I found particularly interesting. So this was a game where I didn't draw a single shifter, but it was against, as you can see in the title, the Snake Eyes engine. But it's like the pure Snake Eye variant, where you run Jet Synchron and you have just like a ton of level 1 spam into like a lot of fire monsters. So pretty meta relevant, but it's not quite the Fire King variant. But this variant was very interesting because it could bring out a lot of like synchros, etc, etc. And I guess I could also showcase my current build of Sprights, which I'm still tinkering with because I haven't versed a good variety of decks just yet. In my past like 2 locals, I've played against a couple of Fire King decks. The games went pretty well. I won against all the ones that I played against. But at the same time, I did lose to a Pearly player twice, like 2 different local games, which is pretty interesting because we have this like long rivalry stand where we always verse each other, and in the past I used to always win, but now it's kind of flipped onto the other side. Okay, regardless, let's jump into the duel. So I lost the Scissors Rock there, so I was going second. I'll try and commentate over this. This is the rating for both of us, and let's go. 41 cards in my deck. My opening hand, 0 hand traps. Obviously, if I have Shifter and he activates a single Fire King or Wanted Engine card, I'll pop it straight away. But yeah, no Shifter unfortunately. I think the play is normally just to wait until the main phase if you do draw the Shifter to potentially play into Talents, but at least you can just not blind Shifter every time. So yeah, Ashes to search, and I just go for the keep going. Gonna let it play out. Such as Poplar to special summon itself. I think there were a couple of mistakes here and there, especially in the first game from the opponent. He should have been able to win, and this was a pretty tight spot to come out of as well. So if you spot any misplays, let me know. But this is just kind of an example of how the deck might play out against one of the tougher matchups in this meta, in this format. Goes to Linkaribo, and then Spell Trap zones the Poplar because it goes to Grave and it just goes there. Right after, he goes Wanted to search. So here, you can probably assume he might have Talents, right? Otherwise, there's no reason not to do it during the draw phase. Send the Poplar for the Dispel Star to search for the original Sinful Spoils. Oh no, which means he already has it, right? So, already in hand, and he sets another Wanted. Sinful Spoils to send Linkaribo to Grave. Summon Jet Synchron. So this is more recursion, also a tuner. It's quite nice. The end board that they make was very interesting. It was something that was kind of new to me, right? But I think the Fire King variants don't play the Jet Synchron or the Synchro lines. So Snake Eye Ash effect to bring out Flamberge by sending Jet Synchron. Sends out Oak instead of Flamberge actually. I don't quite remember how this game went. Okay, he went Oak to summon back Jet Synchron, and then he goes Oak effect to send for Flamberge, I believe. Let's see. Because either Ash or Oak can send itself plus 1 of the face up to the grave to summon Flamberge from your hand or your deck. Synchros into, right, goes into Borrel first. So how many summons was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was already past 5. So if I had nipped there, would have been okay. He did have a bit of follow-up through the Jet Synchron, but that's about it. There you go, there's the Oak for the Flamberge, and he has a negate on board Omni. And if you guys end up liking these videos, let me know, and I'll try and do more of them. I haven't been climbing too much. Obviously, EMP just released today on DB as like onto the mainstream ladder, I suppose. Because Phantom Nightmare is officially TCG legal, and so I jumped right on to test it out a little bit. Flamberge, Valley Town for more bodies. Jet Synchron gets banished because it was special summoned by discarding before. Makes a formula to draw one. All good. And then here he links off into the IP. And so this entire time I was just deciding what to super poly from his board. Well, this gave me a very clear out, right? Because it's huge disrupt. You're disrupting the SP plus a borrow load. Amazing. He's going to get the light out for the Baron summon of the Flamberge, which gives him 2 more bodies from the graveyard as well, which is annoying, but it's fine. Flamberge does have the effect to summon, I believe. Yeah, during opponent's turn, target 1 monster, blah blah blah, summon. And a field spell also actually summons, because when this card is activated, you can place 1 Snake Eye monster, which you place the Ash, and then you also get to, once per turn, if your normal opponent, a normal or special summons a monster, you can summon 1 out from the spell trap zone. Yeah. So go mid phase 1 here. So Meow Mine, I'll do like a full video covering this card probably. This card does not activate to summon. If a link monster is on the field, there's no colons here, which means you can just chuck it out. So I wanted to make sure before I went for the super poly, I'll just dump this out first, see if I can bait the IP maybe. Doesn't really matter too much, but we'll see what other triggers he has. So he goes Temple to summon out the formula for the Baron, I believe. Think here, just, you know, for the sake of thinking. I was considering whether or not we should have gone for the super poly early for the Mud Dragon and then stop any targeting, but I don't think there was anything targeting related. Does this target? During my physical can target? Oh, okay. No, but it's counted as a continuous spell here, so he can still target the Ash to summon. Yeah, it doesn't change too much. Okay, all good. He goes Formula, and then Formula to Quick Synchro. How to think here about the targeting thing, and all good. So he makes the Baron, and then Flamberge goes off to summon 2 more. That's fine as well. Obviously Super Poly here is not very good, but on the typical Fire King Snake Eye end board, the Super Poly hits pretty hard against the Whale, plus the Flamberge hits really hard. They get the extra body, sure, but that's fine, right? You're moving 2 huge threats, and then you have the Dragon also stops. Sorry, the Mud Dragon also stops the Princess targeting graveyard as well. Speaking of which, you didn't go for that line. Maybe you didn't have enough bodies, maybe he wanted a different end board. I mean, this typically is pretty solid, right? You have an Omni, you have follow-up, you have an SP banish off of one of these small bodies, and you have an Omni negate here as well, and you have 3 cards in hand. Which you can see here is a Droll Ash, but obviously I don't know. So he adds the Ash, off the Ash, and then the Oak summons back the Poplar. Poplar's effects such as out a spell, and then he chains IP, and that's where I'm like, okay, well now we have to obviously chain Super Poly, otherwise he SP still gets to banish something. So we'll go chain here, dump the Jet, get rid of the Borrow, load Savage, and the IP. So Meow Mine doing nothing here so far, but it's just an extra body, right? Sometimes you run out of bodies on the field because you use a normal summon and they remove it. So there's the extra body. So Mud Dragon of the Swamp is there, and he gets to resolve his search, I believe, which he might have already done. Let's check. I forgot. Yeah, he had the original. Yep, all good. So I summon out the red in case he wants to Baron something. We got blue effect to search, and he lets it through. So here he's going to draw, after he does all his searching, he denies me all searching, which is kind of sad, but yeah. I thought about it here. So red, if we negate, he's obviously going to Baron it because he really wants the draw to resolve. But I did end up letting it, I did end up tributing for red. I got rid of the Meow Mine because I wanted to just get rid of the Omni, just get it out of the way. Might as well, right? But in hindsight, maybe I should have done something differently, but it's fine because I still have bodies on the field. From here, I kind of just wanted to Zeus and just hope that he wouldn't have like a nib or something. I think the Zeus line was the best option here because there are so many bodies and so many cards as well. They have a set wanted that I wanted to get rid of. There's a temple that is buffing up all these monsters by 1100 attack, which is pretty significant. And you have the Ash for follow-up later on. So go red effect, tribute Meow Mine, then he goes Baron to negate. All good. Can't do much here. Go Mud Dragon, calling Dark just in case. Doesn't really matter too much, but I guess Vela, right? Or later on, if I wanted to like make a gigantic. He goes wanted chain to search in the same chain link as draw, so he can search off first. In case I Zeus him, I suppose, then he can't search afterwards, which makes sense. So thinking here, big things. We go link off into Sprint. He lets it go through, which is interesting because he has the ashes, obviously, right? I was thinking, what do I know in your... I was very surprised they had 5 cards again. Because at this point, like, so many cards are resolved, I was kind of forgetting things. So he has 2 ashes, or 3 ashes, including like the Snake Eye Ash, right? Plus the original and Black Witch. There we go. Dump the Angler, he sprints it, which is unfortunate. But I still have my normal summon, so it's fine. Normal summon Beaver. Beaver effective summon. At this point, he has no more hand traps. But, you know, the damage was already done. I had no business winning this one, to be honest. So, just to see how it plays out. Summon the Angler in attack position from the deck. Overlay here. I make Mannequin because we're not locked just yet. So, we could still potentially summon something. I had a look in the grave. Maybe I should have, right? Maybe I should have summoned out the Ash in attack position in the final slot here. But there was really no point because I still wanted the 5 Mat Zeus. It didn't make much of a difference. I also didn't use Mosquito in case of Ash. So I was like, okay, I just Mannequin here to beat over the 1800 Poplar just in case. So I attack there and he uses the Link Karibo from Graveyard to tribute over, which makes sense, okay. Which means I don't get my attack through necessarily, but at the same time, by summoning out Link Karibo, he triggered my Mannequin Cat. So I went Mannequin Cat effect, targeting the Link Karibo to summon from deck, because it is a trigger. And yeah. So I chose to summon, or it was either Darker or Cyber. So I targeted Link Karibo. I could summon like, you know, Wind or Warrior or Fire. Maybe I could get like Red back or like Jet or whatever. Sorry, Red or what do you call it, Carrot. But I think the best card to get here, because I was going to nuke the board anyways, was probably the Meow Mine, the other one. I'm playing 2 copies, right? So I'll get them both into rotation just in case it ever comes up. Because at this point it's just bodies I want to get rid of. Especially because it has like an additional effect in Grave. So I go Mannequin Cat effect to summon. Summon Meow Mine. So here I was like, okay, if I Mannequin attack into Link Karibo or any monster, I will probably end up... I think it'll go down to 0, right? So if I attack the Link Karibo, it's the same thing. When opponent's monster declares an attack, you contribute this card, change that opponent's monster attack to 0 until the end of this turn. So, and there's no limitation on using only one of them once per turn. Which was very confusing, right? Because I was expecting, okay, Mannequin attack, the Link Karibo, he uses the effect, change Mannequin to 0, I'll still have to crash into something to make a Zeus, and then main phase 2 I'll overlay the Meow Mine and the Sprint to Gigantic and then make a Zeus that way. Which means I have to commit more resources for the same end board, which sucks, but it is what it is, right? That's why I summoned out the Meow Mine off the Mannequin, just in case. And for some reason he lets it through, he takes 17, I'm like, okay, well then I don't have to commit an extra Gigantic, which is good. And from here down it, just waiting for a potential nib, and then no nib, so we go Zeus. Zeus effect the wipe. Nuke everything. And so here I was like, oh, can I use my Meow Mine and Graveyard, the other one, to bounce something? And board's gone, so it doesn't really matter. That's why I was like viewing Graveyard there as well, thinking. Because the Sprint did leave the field. It's any Link 2 that you control. Pass turn there. So they draw for turn. I'm not going to reveal what they drew. We'll just see how it plays out. So right now I have not too much, just Jet in hand. I have a Zeus on field. I have 2 Meow Mines in Graveyard. I know he has a lot of engine, and I know that any monster he summons could potentially threaten Typhon. So I'd have to think about when to use everything. So he goes Ash here, normal summon, sure. Search Poplar, Poplar special summons, more bodies, yep. Poplar does not search because you already have the card in hand. Thinks about what to link off here. He makes Heater. And then Poplar's effect to spell trap the Flamberge, which is great because now it makes it really awkward, right? If I Zeus here, he just Flamberges 2 bodies back. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to Zeus anytime soon. And then he goes Heater effect. And I just, I thumbs up immediately without even checking graveyard. I think I checked it afterwards to see what it could get. I was like, oh shit, what's in there? Red's in there. And red can actually trigger off of the Heater, right? Contribute the Heater to negate and destroy whatever. So that was my mistake. Now I can't Zeus at all, right? I'd rather him have one less body here, one less body here. Like a link 2 is quite significant, especially a monster negate as well. And now he has Flamberge still afterwards. So I should have Zeus there. In which case, if I did that, he would have had to like Duel Star. No, he has the Flamberge bodies as well anyway, so it would have been worse for me, probably. He thought I had enough gas for Mosquito, but under Droll, it's kind of rough. You can't really do as much. But even then, I think it was, yeah, Droll plus all the hand traps now. Plus the interruptions. He goes send Flamberge for Duel Star. And then Duel Star effect, Chain Link 1, Flamberge, Chain Link 2, summon back. Gets back the Oak and the Ash. A lot of recursion. Oak can summon. I think Ash already uses effect this turn to search. Duel Star sets the wanted code to recycle through the 3rd Duel Star. Oak effect to summon back. All good. Summon back Jet Synchron. At this point I was like, this card can bring back from the banished zone as well. So every turn you have this recurring annoying ass card. I love my Synchrons. I love my Synchro summoning decks, but Jet Synchron, man, betraying us as a level 1 fire in this deck. Come on, man. Yeah, target 1 of your level 1 fires, 5 monsters that is banished or not, or in your graveyard. Kinda insane. He links for 3 into, there's the Princess effect to Reborn, Reborn's to Flamberge, links off Duel Star, changes his mind, Flamberge into Raging Phoenix, and then Phoenix goes into Zealantis. Zealantis effect pops there, so I was like, okay, well, if you're banishing this and I don't get my rest, then I might as well Zeus here and then like just cop the red tribute, right? Because like you don't get the fire monster off this, and you lose a body, a link to, which is worth. So he goes red. I assumed he wanted to destroy there. And then at this point, this is where he messed up, right? Because he's going for the OTK to hit for game. And he's like, oh shit, if I banish everything on the field, it's like, won't destroy, just negate. I was like, sure. So I tried to special back. That was a misclick to use the effect. So I left on the field there. And so I was like, okay, it gets banished instead. And he's like, I misplayed here. So the misplay is that red is obviously going to return to my field because it banishes and it goes to my banish zone. And it returns onto my side of the field, I believe. Right, let me read the wording on this. During a main phase, you can banish all monsters on the field and special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect to their owner's fields. Yeah, the owner's fields. So this is different from SP where it doesn't return back to whoever took it. It returns to the owner's fields. So I would get 2 bodies there. So because we're testing, right, it doesn't even matter. So I'm like, okay, do you want to destroy instead? So send to grave. He said if it's fine. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. All good. So I get the red back. So I'll ask face down, face up. This is my mistake here. I assumed that he wanted to put it in an attack position because he could beat over it. But Zealandis, I believe, returns it in defense. So face up or in face down defense position. Yeah, so it's 100% in defense position. Doesn't say face up in attack or defense. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Face up or in face down defense position. This doesn't mean like either, right? I don't know, whatever. Regardless, I took the damage here because I assumed that that's what he'd want. He swings over, I take all the damage, and then looking pretty grim. Main 2 goes Jet Synchronous is already a misplay because he could have swung with that for fun. Goes for the draw there. And then he links into Dark. Dark brings back my EMP. And he goes link 4 into link those 3 into Appa. Don't agree with that play. I think Dark taking something else would have been better. Also, if he had that line, he could have just OTK'd if he was running like access code, right? So it didn't make much sense there. I think I should have lost right then and there. But it is what it is. Alright, I draw Caddy. So here I was like, well, I really want both of them to trigger, right? I at least want Caddy to be a disruption, but it's looking kind of grim against, 5 cards. Oh, there's your big reveal. He has Nib for turn as well. That's what he drew for turn. Normal the Caddy, all good. Special the Jet, attempt to use the effect. I was only using the effect to like bait out Appa because like obviously he's going to use it and it's just going to bring it down a little bit more. And ultimately I wanted to make a Typhon. So it felt really good here because I had the Typhon for a big body and I also had the Caddy to trigger off of the normal summon or special summon or attack of their monster. Which means that I would have Disruption Omni through Caddy and I'd also have the Typhon for just general big bodies. Felt good. Maximizing the value. Then we'll go Battle Phase, swing over the Appa. It was a 16 Appa. And the Caddy goes 200 in. Good, good, good. He goes... Which phase is this? During my end phase, I think? Wanted to search, all good, yep. Deck thin a little bit. Normal the Ash. So I was kind of confused by this. I was like, sure, the Caddy effect. Bounce. Why did normal Ash? Let's figure that out now. So he drew Bonfire. Alright, because he wanted to send off Dibel Star. He has 2 Bonfires. And I think he went through all his engines. So he burned through everything. The irony. There's 3 Ash, 2 Poplar, and 1 Oak. Yeah, that's everything. Normal the Ash for Dibel Star, right? From your hand or field to graveyard. So I don't understand why I didn't just like trigger it straight away. Like he let me trigger the Caddy instead, which is interesting. Like Typhon wasn't an option for him, so I don't know why he normal summoned that. Make the Herald there. On summon, think. Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, he wanted the Princess. He wanted a fire on field so he could pop something if I special summoned. And if I looked into the graveyard, I would have realized that he had the Princess, but it is what it is, all good. And then he targets the Typhon, I chained the Herald to negate it. And then he goes Pitch Bonfire to summon Dibel Star. Looking pretty grim once again. Dibel Star is a 7, which means you can synchro a 10, but I don't think he was running any other 10s. Aside from Baron, which is already in graveyard. Would have been a nice play though. And then from here it's just Typhon beatdown. Chill the Fenrir for turn, obviously can't summon it. Get rid of the fire in case I want to special summon later on. He's on 19. What did he draw for turn? He drew the second Nib and Bonfire in hand. Draw the Shifter there, obviously way too late, does nothing, and then I just bounce back and hit for game. Just Typhon beatdown. Now, game 2, I go second again because he goes first, obviously, after losing. Here's my hand. It's kind of weird. Nib, Imperm, and then we have Engine. His hand is... I'll just show both hands, actually. Pretty rough for me. Oh, actually, for him, it's not amazing either. Double Poplar is kind of weird, but you still get to search, so you get the Engine online. At least he didn't open up like Bonfire. Bonfire would have been good because you can normal summon the Ash. But the Ash can only get you... Well, maybe another Ash. There's the Temple, Designator, and Anti-Spell. Anti-Spell is amazing, but like, obviously against this hand it's rubbish. So normal the Poplar, search for the spell. He goes original sinful spoils, effect. Oh no, temple first to put the ash into the zone and then send it off with the original sinful spoils. Summon oak. Oak brings back ash. There's three bodies, 3 summons. I'm counting this. Ash such as ash. Link into Link Karibo, 4 summons, and then popular effect to spell trap itself. Oak to summon, and obviously I'm not going to nib here because Flamberge just brings back bodies again. I want him to commit to using the Flamberge for link material, whatever, and then I can nib afterwards. So here he goes, link 2 into IP, so already a pretty good nib here. Summons back, I nib here, because he has no more follow-up, hopefully. And then obviously he has a crossout. I was like, there's no way he has a crossout, right? And then he whips out the crossout. I'm like, alright, dude. Sure. Banishes crossout. Banishes the nib. Resolves. Changes his mind there. Obviously not a big issue because we're all testing. Links those 2 off into Princess. That has the protection on the IP. Sure. Princess summon back Flamberge. And this was my mistake here. So when he goes Princess effect, when we look at his graveyard, obviously it's going to be popular or Flamberge, and obviously it's going to be Flamberge, right? So I attempted a nib, I accidentally put it down to the bottom of the deck, as you guys just saw. Went from my hand to the bottom of the deck. And then I was asking, like, you know, is it okay if I just like use it here? Because obviously I'm not trying to cheat in a simulator, right? I'm just trying to make sure that the cards are used correctly at the right checkpoints. I thought it was pretty significant to stop this because like it means no follow-up later on, and I can still do my normal combo off later on. So he sends for Flamberge anyway, so it didn't really matter, to be honest. Ends with an IP Flamberge. Could they have made a... Why did it not go for the whale here? Princess and Ash into whale, and then Flamberge can be... He can go Oak. Oh, he needs the temple for the IP. So, okay, well, he needed 1 more body. Fair enough. Draw Fenrir for turn, which is always good. Semi-phase, he activates anti-spell. Sure. Fenrir can outer if I really need to. Like, we can go blue jet into like a spell, but we also didn't need to. So, we can go jet, normal summon jet, special blue, search the jet, special the jet, and then search for a spell. If we really need to, we can get rid of the anti-spell with Fenrir, but, you know, IP might trigger here, because I special summoned. Yeah, he goes effect to summon. And I go Fenrir, effect to search. He says all good. I think he probably should have triggered the IP here using the Oak to go SP, banish the Fenrir. But it was a gamble, and he also knew I had nib. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that was part of the consideration. And also Fenrir just banishes, so maybe he was hoping for like any other play aside from just search. I was like, all good, yep, all good. He says end of main. He's gonna use IP to links off with the Flamberge and the Oak. And I was like, what is this, Underworld Goddess? You need extras, no? And then he's like, Appa, sure, Appa's fine. And then here I'm like, okay, well now I can trigger Fenrir because he used IP in the previous chain. Fenrir effect target Appa, force out one of the negates. And then he forgets the Flamberge effect to summon 2. I'm like, that's all good. So chain link 1, Fenrir, and then target Appa. Chain link 2 probably should have been Appa, right? Like, would you prioritize... like, Appa is obviously going to get Fenrir'd if you're going to go chain link 2 Flamberge. I think SP was much better here, personally, but it's fine. He still wants to chain link 2 Flamberge. I asked him to double check, right? Because I was like, sure, it's not the play. Banishes that, and then Ash and Oak, sure, all good. So Niv was available here because he summoned IP into Appa, into Poplar, Oak, and Ash. Could have nibbed here and then done the rest, but didn't really matter. Actually, let me have a think. Maybe the better play was to nib here because you have... does it take into account the original attack? Should be as many on the field and summon 1 equal to the combined original attack. Yeah, so it doesn't get the stat boost change, which means we couldn't have just like one-shotter with Mosquito. So Fenrir, 24, 32, 41, 48 attack. So 48 attack without the field spell for the token, which means if we go jet into blue into maybe a red, and then go link off into a sprint. Sprint dumps 2, make a mosquito. Mosquito hits once, twice, 3 times, and then they're dead. Yeah, so assuming no follow-up. In fact, you could go into gigantic as well. No, you can't. You have to go... Yeah, you can't. You have to go directly into mosquito because you need 2 bodies for the mosquito afterwards of gigantic. Yeah, so that would have been lethal actually, assuming he has no hand traps. And I think I knew a couple of cards in his hand already. So maybe next time that can be a better play, because this game did drag on for quite a bit afterwards, unnecessarily. I searched the red, yep. Summon the red, play around nib. Summon sprint, because I know it plays it. The nib that is. Dump angler, summon 2 bodies. Yeah, I definitely should have nibbed here just to go for the win, but it's all good, we just play control here. Alright, the princess again. I keep forgetting the princess, right? So princess would have triggered off of he was waiting for gigantic the whole time. I don't think that's necessarily correct. No, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, I was thinking about like tributing a sprint, like popping a sprint instead, but no, I think it's correct waiting for gigantic. So Poplar and sprint, I go red effect. No? Okay, I let her go through. I let her go through because I wanted to overlay the sprint and the red to summon, yeah. So battle phase. Start of battle phase, he goes Link Karibo to tribute. But he can't because of the princess, which locks him into fire. Ephemeral Beard into Ash, and Gigantic into Princess. Main 2, go Gigantic effect. Obviously he doesn't have a nib if he didn't use it in main 1. Summon the Meow Mine for the SP effect to banish. I banished the Flambush from Graveyard because let me check. Send to Graveyard. Handle deck, yeah, so this can't recur the Flamberge. And this is the same effect, right? Yeah, handle deck as well. So that can't recur the Flamberge either. What can they use to place into Spell Trap? I forgot. I keep forgetting. Not Poplar. And the Flamberge itself can recur it, but it's already gone through what? That's Appa. He's gone through 2, so he has 1 more. If he's running 3. We set the Imperm and Puzzle turn. He draws Imperm for turn. I need the anti-spell up because I feel like it's going to hurt him as well, right? Like, if he can't do anything. But I realize he could just send it off any of the Snake Eyes, so it doesn't even affect him if he really needed to activate spells. Goes Oak effect, send the Flamberge, summon Ash, and then Flamberge effect, summon 2. Just Flamberge because I was expecting him to use Ash to search as well, but so 3rd Ash in hand, 2 Poplars, yeah, and Oak. So I was surprised it was just Ash, but it's like, oh, okay. Obviously it's because he already used everything. Ephemeral effect to banish the temple because like, there's no other way to get rid of it. And whatever he spell traps is going to be annoying to deal with later on. Oh, that's right, Poplar going to graveyard spell traps the Flamberge. So that's why I was trying to get rid of like all 3 of them, but yeah. Oak effect to summon back the Ash. And then he link 2s, changes his mind. Link 2, yep, with the Ash and the Ash. Do they need to be different names? No, all good, justifies. Okay. Battle phase, I'm like, oh good. He hits into the SP. He obviously didn't use the healer first because I could just SP chain when he's trying to take the red to get rid of the healer, so he can't summon under the link arrows. I think he forgot about the Meow Mine because here, bidding over the SP triggers the Meow Mine because a link 2 left the field. So Meow Mine effect, banish itself, yeah, he forgot because he went to main 2. In fact, targeting healer, so losing 2 bodies for free there felt good. Main 2. Healer again, make another one, and obviously I have the Imperm for this one. So he went neg 4 bodies, well 3 bodies because he still has 1 on field. And yeah, I think the field spell was the correct hit there because now he can't summon the Flamberge back out. He was target sprint, and I was like expecting him to get the red, right? But I think he wanted to link 4 into what, like Zealantis or a 2-mat Apo. It doesn't make sense to do that. He's already used one. Maybe like an access code, I don't know. So imperm the healer, all good. Set 1 pass. So he drew the imperm for turn, which means, I don't know this, but I could assume it's probably imperm. I couldn't start up because of the anti-spell, so we've got Fenrir Search. I wanted to get rid of the anti-spell now so I could, start off for my combo. Fenrir Search first. And then we'll go Battle Phase. Beat in, use the effect. Targeting the anti-spell. I want to get the Flamberge badly, but I'll take anti-spell just in case. Goes imperm, yep. So the attack goes through. Unfortunately, Healer does get to search again. I think he had like a couple more targets. Jet, there you go, maybe a one-of. I set the starter, pass turn, draws another anti-spell. And here's just Fenrir beatdown. The thing is, even though these games are like a massive struggle, it's still grindable, right? Just because like Fenrir alone and some of the other fun cards. Like if I drew into a shifter going second, like it's just game over straight up. And I know someone recently requested that I make one of my videos on like how to play through a shifter if you're going second, like what kind of a board I meant to make. Flamberge summon 2 bodies back, trigger everything, blah blah blah, recurring 3 bodies, the usual. Tough because he was trying to make some, mats. Because Link Reaver effect here to some back, I'm like, okay, well you haven't gone through SP yet, you're probably gonna go SP, banish my back row, or the Fenrir. So I'm gonna go Fenrir effect here, after the Poplar resolves to put something back, target the other Poplar. Fenrir target Link Reaver so he can't banish for free. And goes Link 2 into Nightmare Phoenix, he really wants to get rid of my back row. He can probably guess it's a starter, right? He's surprised he dumped Jet Synchron there, which is fair enough, but like anti-spell is probably fine too. I don't know, maybe he thought this was like slowing me down enough, maybe it's like Cosmic or Dust or something, I don't know. Yeah, he pops that, sure, can't do anything about that. And then Jet Synchron effect. And that's just straight up a misplay, right? Like you just discard the anti-spell fragrance instead and just normal summon the Jet. Did he normal already this time? Maybe he did, I forgot. And then I nib here because I don't want him to link up again, and it's just guaranteed to win if I nib here because I just beat over the token. Draw Super Poly, beat over it. Main 2, set 1, pass. Draws the imperm, sets it, passes. And then here's just nib beatdown, similar to Typhon in game 1. Draws the 3rd anti-spell. I draw an Ash, I'm like very comfortable now. I'm like, okay, I have Super Poly for if he like goes for the entire fire route again. And he can't imperm chain because, it's Super Poly. And that's game. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If I see any other interesting games that happen, maybe I'll, post them up. If you guys want to see particular games, let me know. I'll see if I can get recordings of the matchup. Alright, stay safe, take care, bye.